An enormous spider just ran across my living room floor. So March Madness has begun. Currently not doing very well in my picks. I'm sitting on my couch watching TV, basketball game right now. I'm watching Purdue and Northern Iowa. And even though I'm a diehard Hoosiers fan, when you live in Indiana, you gotta pull for any team that's from the state of Indiana. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. I was listening to the radio on my way to get some propane. I was running errands. Rush Limbaugh comes on the radio, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to start listening to this. This is interesting. What I've always heard about Rush is that he's the champion of the conservatives and that he is logical and that he thinks through everything. He always calls liberals and Democrats insane and they don't know what they're talking about, and that they always, especially in this trip that he was going, he was talking about how these liberals don't know what they're talking about and they must be clinically insane to think these things, and they're too tied up in their emotions to see the actual logic of the situation. Somebody who was a pretty diehard listener calls in and tells him about a situation that he got into. What happened was the guy was at a truck stop and he overheard some guys talking about the AIG execs, and they were speaking pretty violently about it. And he said to them, these are real people with families and children, and they were contractually obligated, and he's just trying to defend the AIG execs, like a nice thing to do. And then these other guys, they're all like truckers at this truck stop. Get him! And these other truckers start getting kind of abusive to him, and they're saying, can't believe you would say that, and you're just this right-wing crazy, and you're a Rush Limbaugh parrot, is actually what he said. And the guy tried to very logically and calmly just have a good conversation, and these guys weren't having any of it. And they were just being abusive and trying to run him out. That's not the big issue here. That is an issue because it's like, okay, come on, just, be a normal human being, be respectful, try and have an argument or a discussion where you're not winning the argument because you're more violent than the other person. What Rush turns it into is he keeps asking all these dumb questions, trying to figure out, like, what were these people like, and oh, I can't believe that truckers would side with the Democrats. I've lost the truckers. They're no longer a part of the conservative party. Turns out they're unionized truckers, so it really doesn't matter. And I'm thinking, first of all, these are 3 or 4 guys, and they probably in no way represent the vast population of truckers. And also, Rush Limbaugh kept trying to make it about him, and because of the "you're a parrot of Rush Limbaugh" comment. Well, you should have defended me and said that you're a diehard Rush Limbaugh listener, and you should have said that I'm right, and you're right because I'm right. That is absolutely not what this argument was about. This argument was about whether or not the AIG execs were right in accepting money and what should be done about that, which is a valid argument to have. And then what Limbaugh is trying to make it into is, well, these people are wrong because they talked bad about me, and I'm right about everything, so they must be wrong. That was his logic, and it's pretty terrible logic. Man, that frustrates me when people think like that. So it's not going to make me hate Rush Limbaugh and stop listening to him, but I am getting, the more and more I actually listen to it, the more I'm getting the sense that he's just as abusive and irrational as the people that he berates. Hey, look in the sidebar for more info about the unofficial month where we write about things. There'll be a link to the video. Go to the Facebook group. Check it out. It's an event. See you next time.
All my life
Get in.
I have
No!
been searching for the promised land.